All right, folks, I'm here today with Masai Brown Andrews, whose company is Masai AI. I don't know if you can figure out what his company does with that name, but it's him and he does some magical things. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. Well, all right, give me the pitch. What are you about?
Yeah, pretty simple. Essentially, right now I'm focusing on helping solos and small firms, attorneys to figure out how they can use AI to save time and money, essentially.
All right. So the problem you solve is saving time and money, but so how do you really do that?
Yeah, the thing is there's so many different ways and so many different applications.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of different stuff that can be done. There's obviously the normal stuff of summarizing documents. I think the most interesting thing for me to work on now is kind of thinking about end-to-end processes that used to require a human to do, where you used to have to hire someone to do it, you used to have to pay for someone to do it, now can be done completely by software because you have AI is kind of like smart software, right? And you can kind of build a workflow where there's a brain in that workflow that can actually do some level of thinking task in there, you know?
All right, so I'm big into AI. I use it a ton every single day. It's done a lot for me, but for your client, so for a business owner or someone else you're talking to, and they're like, okay, how can you do that? I get it, I hear it, I see it, I want it to happen. I don't know how to use it, so I'm going to call Masai and then give me some applications. Tell me some ways that you've used or do use AI to help save time for these people.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to steal a lot of this from Tony. So two things. One that Tony's given me is a SU, right? An SEW, a simple, easy win,
Okay.
which is just figuring out what's one use case that we can focus on because there's so much that you can do, but let's focus on just one specific use case. Let's
Mhm.
define that process and then see if we can build something for that. And then to figure out what should we automate, I'm going to steal this from Tony as well. Um, Tony, he always has me ask business owners, what are those two or three things in your business that dealing with them makes you feel like you want to step into oncoming traffic, right? What are those things that you hate dealing with on a daily basis? And I'll give you an example of a project I'm working on now in the personal injury space for personal injury firms. They have an issue of they get a lot of records, a lot of medical records, right? Imagine somebody was in an accident. They have all of their records from when they went to the hospital, maybe any physical therapy they've done, and they also have bills for all those records. And
Mhm.
as of yet, from all of the attorneys that I've spoken to, nobody has come up with a solution where you can have a software that can match the bills to the correct medical record, right? And so that's a very strong, a clear pain point, and that's
Mhm.
something that I'm going to be actually initializing that project tomorrow.
Okay.
That's something where I can see AI being really useful in terms of being able to look at those documents and identify which bill corresponds to which record,
Right.
very quickly.
Okay. Cool. What are some other applications you can think of that are very practical that could be AI could be applied to really make a difference in somebody's life?
Yeah, I think in any document heavy field, like the legal field, like a lot of fields, I
Hmm.
think extracting structured data from unstructured inputs, right? So if you're looking at any sort of document where you're getting that's coming in with a different format. Maybe it's invoices, right? And sometimes you have a somebody writes out the invoice, or maybe the invoices are structured differently, and you need to extract name, how much the invoice was for, all that kind of information. So whenever you're dealing with a obviously, if it's structured input and structured output, you don't need AI for that. You can just use code. But if you're
Right.
doing unstructured input, but you need structured output in a certain format, that's
Hmm.
where AI is very good. So that's kind of like a high level thing. Another one that I've seen that's really interesting is again another personal injury attorney. What he has done is he's probably one of the most automated people that I know in that space. But what he has AI do is read his emails and then analyze. He has workflows that have to run when they get a specific email from the court, right? So they have a lot of interaction with the court, and so when the court says a certain thing or gives a certain type of email, then he has a workflow that runs to do a certain process. And so AI is very good at kind of reading an email because obviously if a person writes an email,
Hmm.
it's unstructured data. You don't know exactly what they're going to say, right?
Hmm.
But if you can have an AI model read that email and say, okay, this based off of what's in this email, it's okay for us to start this process. And you can have that whole thing kind of automated. And then not to ramble too much, but there's a lot of cases here. One more I want to add on top of
Yeah.
that is a corporate law case, kind of a mergers and acquisition case. So I was speaking to a mergers and acquisitions attorney, and this is something I think I'll be working on coming up soon. But the ability to get on a call with the client, somebody wants to buy a business or sell a business, you kind of already have templated documents of whatever documentation you're going to need for that process, and just take the transcript of that call, send it off to an AI model, have it pull out the necessary variables that are needed to fill those contracts, so that way you can go on your Zoom call, you hang up the Zoom call, and 10 or 15 minutes later you have all the contracts, ready, a first draft of all the contracts ready to go. So those are a couple interesting use cases, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh, I've never heard it said, take an unstructured data source and get a structured output. And I think that captures it really well because you're right. If you got a structured source and you structured output, you just use code, right? That's easy, right? We've been doing that for decades. But what
Yeah.
we haven't been able to do is take random sources of data to match them and create a structured output.
Yeah, yeah. And I think even kind of to add on, you can almost think about of as like three levels, right? If you're going from structured to structured, you can use code. If
Yeah.
you're going from unstructured to structured, you can use an AI model. And then at the highest level, when you're going from an unstructured input coming in to you're not necessarily sure what output needs to come out, and you need the system to figure that out, that's when we start talking about agentic workflows, right? You're giving agent the ability to reason, you give it tools, and you allow the agent to decide based on the information that's coming in, what the correct information is to come out. So I think those are kind of the three levels of systems that we can talk about.
Love it. Love it. Okay. That's good. That helps a lot. So who's
Yeah.
your ideal client then? So if someone here in Synergy wants to use you for a particular client or client need, I mean, what should they be thinking of?
Yeah, I'm looking for small firms, probably 20 attorneys or less, 10 attorneys or less. Right now, my main areas of focus are corporate and personal injury.
Okay.
And I also, in terms of kind of the profile of the person, the people easiest to work with are people who know a little bit about AI, who kind of know what it does and who have some ideas of how it could be used. It's kind of I would say people that have some idea and some kind of tech focus are ideal for me.
All right. That makes sense. An educated client's always a better client, right? In my
Really?
opinion, right?
Yeah.
So attorneys, you're focusing on attorneys and attorney practices
Yeah.
who have a lot of data sources, who need structure. So they're anywhere from 1 to 20 attorneys in the practice. So is your sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does location matter?
No, in the United States, and I actually talked to somebody who's outside, a couple of people outside of the state, so not really, no.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. So what's your background? How did you get to this point?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting background. I don't know if Tony may have told you a little bit, but from the age of 18 to 21, I was a professional soccer player.
Oh, no
Um,
way. All right.
yeah, I was won the second division in Greece when I was 19, 20.
That's
And then from
fantastic.
there, yeah, it's kind of all over the place a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
and from there, I had a content agency where I was kind of running people's social media content, and that was running that. I had my aha moment of seeing AI systems that could produce 10x, 20x the output that I was producing with my agency, and so
Okay.
that was that gave me the clear indication that this is the direction I need to go down as aggressively as possible, essentially. And so
Okay.
I spent the last year building out anything for anyone. I built for in health software, technology, real estate, a lot of different places. And from this year, I started really trying to focus and narrow down and focus mainly on the legal field.
Nice. Oh, that's fantastic. All right. Love it. What was the most unique thing that you experienced while playing soccer?
The most unique, probably the people and the places, I think, because I've been
Yeah.
to, yeah, I got to go to places I never thought I would go. Czech Republic, I've been to.
Uh-huh.
Um, a few islands in the Caribbean, Martinique, Bermuda. I played against Bermuda. So the people and the places, I would say
What's your favorite place?
Italy and Martinique. Those two.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's awesome. All right, so other than you're a professional soccer player, all right, so what is a very unique thing about Masai that most people don't know that probably should?
Yeah, I think probably the languages. I speak four languages:
Okay.
English, Spanish, French, and Greek as well, because I lived in Greece.
Uh-huh.
I would say that's probably the thing, because normally it doesn't come up unless somebody else speaks the language as well.
Right. Yeah. Which was the hardest to learn?
Greek,
Yeah.
yeah, Greek for
Oh,
sure. The because the letters are different, so
okay.
it's tough to read. Spanish and French have the same letters as that we do, but Greek.
Right.
I remember showing up in Greece on the first day and just looking around and you can't read anything, can't understand anything, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Masai, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You're awesome, dude. You got some really unique things you're working on. How can other Synergy members reach you?
The best place to find me is LinkedIn, Masai Brown
Okay.
Andrews. And also, if they're curious about AI, they want to maybe start to dip their feet into learn and build some things with AI. My YouTube
Mhm.
channel as well is a good place. So that's Masai Brown Andrews on YouTube. I do
Oh,
full
nice.
tutorials and demonstrations on there as well.
Okay, fantastic. We'll have those links and information on the Synergy site so everybody will be able to see it and be able to connect with you. So
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.